Hey, welcome back to my channel. This is going to be the first of several videos that just give you essay writing 101. So the first thing you need to ask yourself is, how do I start an essay? What are some of the things I need to consider? So that's what this video is going to be about. Before I dive in though, I want to clarify what kind of essays I'll be talking about. Primarily formal essays, that's where I'm going. Formal, persuasive, analytical, but not any type of essay will fit this criteria. If you have a more informal essay, some of these tips will be helpful, and then others you might want to discard. A lot of these tips are helpful for research papers, but just FYI, I will not be dealing with research specifically in this series of videos. So if that's what you're looking for, that's fine, but this is not the place for you to get help with that particular issue. All right, so now that you have some idea of what this is going to be all about, writing a good, formal, persuasive essay, here's how you start. First thing you need to do is understand the prompt. This may seem like really basic advice, but I have seen even seasoned essay writers miss the mark with the prompt. Think about the political debates that you've seen. I think we've all gotten frustrated at one time or another when the moderator asks a question and you're thinking, yes, fantastic question, I want to know the answer, I want to know how you answer this question. And then the politician goes, you know what I really want to talk about? Apparently not that. So you don't want to be that person. You don't want to think that you know what you're talking about when really you are not answering the question that was originally asked. So look carefully at the prompt, first of all. Figure out what it's asking, see if there are multiple parts to the prompt, and that's where you get your start. So go very carefully through that if you need to underline, if that's helpful. The second thing you need to understand is your audience. This will generally be your teacher or your boss. In general, what you want to assume about your audience is that they are familiar with the work that you're writing about or the topic that you're writing about, but only on a surface level. You've gone deeper. You have done the work, you've formed your opinion, and you now need to prove to them that your interpretation is correct. So not only do you need to assume that your audience has read the work, is familiar with the topic, but also that they disagree with you. This will put you in the right mindset to actually begin persuading and not just assuming that everybody's on your side. Number 3, understand your data. You need to start gathering facts. Facts about the topic that you'll be illuminating, facts about the social issue that you're going to be writing about, facts from the piece of literature that you'll be analyzing. You need to gather as many facts as possible. Now, I realize that if you are writing a take-home essay, you have a lot of time to consider how all of this is going to be put together. You can spend much more time on this step. If you are writing during a test, let's say, you can still spend a moment and look at the data that's in front of you, whether that be a new poem, maybe you're taking the AP literature exam or something like that, and what you should do as quickly as possible is gather all of that data. Sherlock Holmes has some very helpful advice when it comes to gathering data. It is a capital mistake to theorize before one has data. Insensibly, one begins to twist facts to suit theories instead of theories to suit facts. These are wise words. So if you are starting an essay, especially if you have the time to really dig deep, don't come up with a theory, don't come up with what your position is on the topic without having gathered the data. Just imagine how wrong a science experiment would go if you did that. If you said, well, you know, my hypothesis is that water is bad for you. Okay. The nice thing about science is that you get to test out your theories and prove or disprove them. But if we approach that same idea as we sometimes approach essays, what you would do is you would just find some evidence here and some evidence there that would prove your point, ignoring everything else. That's not how to be a good scientist, and that's not how to be a good essay writer either. So make sure that you have the facts and then come up with your theory or your thesis statement, what it is you're going to be proving in your paper. So if this is not a timed test essay, if this is something you have more luxury to develop and work on, then I would say the fourth thing you need to understand is your organization. You should, of course, understand really basic organization. Even for a test essay, you should have your data, which leads you to your theory, your thesis statement, and then have some idea of what you're going to say. But if you have more time, knowing more about your organization is going to be really helpful. I know a lot of people are big believers in formal outlines with Roman numerals and everything like that. I think that's fantastic. That's not always the way that I work. I tend to take my information, a lot of what I write have been literary analysis essays, so I'll have my ideas and my evidence, and I'll start putting the quotations into different sections, my observations under different headings, and that is what leads me to form, what will become my body paragraphs where I prove the majority of my argument. Those did not often look like formal essay outlines, confessions with me, but they did give my paper some good structure. I was able to move things around, which paragraph would go better at the beginning, and I knew what each paragraph was going to prove, what part of the thesis statement it was going to tackle. So it's a great idea to know exactly what your organization is going to be if you have the time and luxury to do that. I know, again, if you have something like an AP essay on the line, you need to do this process a bit backwards. You just dive into your evidence and then at least make sure that by the end you give a solid thesis statement. What is it that I've just proven? For the vast majority of us, your thesis will go at the beginning, and then you'll be able to systematically set up your body paragraphs to guide the reader through your argument. So if you have the luxury to do that, make sure you do. If you are interested in this topic, if you're in the midst of writing an essay, then be sure to check out my other videos, and especially the next one, because the next one is going to cover what makes a good thesis statement, and if there is one sentence in your essay that matters the most, it is that one by far. If your thesis statement is weak, then chances are very good that your whole essay is weak as well. So now you're all set up. Make sure to check out my other videos. Good luck on your essay. I'll see you next time.